Hey guys, Jennifer here, and welcome to The Family Fudge. Today I'm back with 5 more tasty one-pot meals that even my picky eaters love. All of these meals are budget friendly and only cost about $10 each. Now I hope you enjoy this video, like and subscribe if you do, and with all that being said, let's get on to the dinners. First up, I'm making a beef and bean burrito skillet. Now, if you are a fan of smothered or wet style burritos, then you're going to love this recipe. You're only going to need about 6 ingredients, and when I make this for my family, we have no leftovers. It's that good. For this recipe, I'm going to start by cooking up a little over 1 pound of ground beef. I'm going to break it up as it's cooking, and at this point, you could go ahead and drain it if you wanted. Next, I'm adding just 1 packet of taco seasoning, followed by 1 10-ounce can of red enchilada sauce. And of course, I'm using the mild one because I want to make sure this is kid-friendly. And at this point, I'm also going to add 1 can of pinto beans that I've already drained. Now, I'm just going to mix this all together and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. Now, while that is happening, it's time to cut the tortillas. For this recipe, I like to use flour tortillas. Any size will work, but you could also use corn tortillas if you wanted to. I'm just using my pizza cutter to cut about 6 tortillas total into bite-sized pieces. Now, I know this might seem a little bit strange, but trust me, the tortillas are so good in this. They get nice and soft and they soak up all the yummy, delicious sauce. For some of my kids, the tortilla is actually their favorite part of this entire recipe. Now, with this recipe, garnishes and toppings are optional, but if you like things like chopped cilantro or avocado, they make this dish even better. Now that this super flavorful meat and bean mixture is done, I can go ahead and add in all the tortilla squares. And I'm going to mix this up really well because I want to make sure that each tortilla piece is completely coated in the sauce. And don't worry if they stick together a little bit. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Then I'm going to add the lid back on to help melt that cheese. You guys, this recipe is such a winner at our house. It comes together so quickly. And of course, I love that I can make this in just 1 pan. That's going to mean a lot less dishes for me to wash after dinner. These smothered burrito bowls are so flavorful, but they're not too spicy. Now for me, I do like to add a little bit of hot sauce to mine with a little bit of sour cream and avocado. It is so good. Definitely let me know if you give this one a try and let me know what you think. Next up, I'm making some chicken and bacon bow ties. This combo comes out super creamy and delicious. My kids give this one 5 stars for sure. This recipe is great if you're short on time, and I especially love it because it starts with 2 cups of shredded rotisserie chicken. To my pan, I'm going to add 3 cups of chicken broth, and to this, I'm adding 1 packet of ranch dressing mix. Now I'm just going to whisk these together, and then it's time for some cream cheese. Now I'm adding an entire block of cream cheese in here, and once that's pretty much melted, I can go ahead and add in the shredded chicken. Next, I'm adding 3 cups of bow tie pasta, and then 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Once this comes to a boil, I can go ahead and turn it to low, then cover my pot. This is going to cook for just about 14 minutes, or until the pasta is tender. And you guys, with this recipe, I do like to stir it occasionally just to make sure it's not going to stick to the bottom of my pan. While I'm waiting for this to cook on the stove, I'm going to chop up a few slices of pre-cooked bacon. This pre-cooked stuff really makes this recipe come together so much faster. And then this ingredient is optional, but if you have some green onions, I really like to chop them up and add them to the top of this recipe as well. Now, when it's done, the pasta is going to be nice and soft, and the sauce is going to be creamy and thick. Now I'm just adding all the toppings, and it's good to go. think this dish goes really well with a side of steamed broccoli. This next recipe makes my entire house smell amazing, and if you're a garlic lover like me, you're gonna want to give this one a try. This garlic Parmesan chicken and rice comes out so creamy, and it almost has a risotto-like texture. To make this, I'm starting with just about 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, and I'm going to cut this into 1-inch pieces. To my pan, I'm adding a bit of olive oil and a bit of butter, and then the chicken goes in. I'm going to season this chicken with lots of salt and pepper, and when the chicken is almost all the way done cooking, I'm going to add the garlic. And you guys, I recommend using at least 4 cloves of crushed garlic if you're a garlic lover like me, but if you're not a big fan of garlic, you could definitely add less. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of uncooked basmati rice, followed by 2.5 cups of chicken broth. Now I'm going to give this a stir, add on the lid, and then this cooks for about 12 minutes, and I do like to stir it occasionally. After about 12 minutes, you can see that most of the liquid is absorbed and the rice is nice and soft. So now I can go ahead and add 1 can of cut green beans. I already drained these. And then I'm also adding about 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese and 1/2 cup of cream. Once I have this all mixed together, I'm going to put the lid back on for just 5 more minutes, and that's really going to help melt the cheese and heat up those green beans all the way through. Next up, I'm making some turkey taco boats. And this recipe is really great if you're looking for something on the lighter side. It's super tasty and fresh, and you really can easily customize these for picky eaters. To my pot, I'm going to start by browning up a little over 1 pound of ground turkey. Next, I'm going to season this turkey really well with salt and pepper, and then I'm also going to add in here some chopped red onion. I like to cut up enough onion to cook with the meat, but then I also have some for on the side that I can actually top the taco boats with before we eat them. Next, I'm going to be adding in plenty of garlic, followed by some taco seasoning, a little bit of water, 1 can of drained corn, and 1 can of drained black beans. Now I'm just going to mix this all together, and I probably should have picked a larger pot for this, because this does make a lot of filling. I'm going to add the lid back on for about 5 more minutes to heat everything through. Now for this dinner, instead of using taco shells, I'm using pieces of romaine lettuce instead, and you can totally tell why I call these taco boats. Now I build these taco boats just like I would build a regular taco. You can use any toppings that you like. Last up, I have one of the easiest recipes. This pepperoni pizza chicken only takes a few ingredients and just about 15 minutes to make. So starting with about 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, I'm just cutting this into bite-sized pieces. I'm going to season this chicken with lots of salt and pepper. And then to my skillet, I'm adding a combination of olive oil and butter. Then when the pan is nice and hot, I'm going to add in all the chicken. And I really think the trick here is to not stir the chicken right away. I'm actually going to leave the chicken alone, and that's going to give it time to get a nice brown crust on the outside. Now, once the chicken is almost all the way done, it's time for some really good marinara sauce. Now you can pick any brand that's your favorite. I'm going to go with the cheaper one, and I'm going to add this entire jar in with the chicken. Next, I'm going to cover this and cook for a few more minutes until the chicken is cooked all the way through. And now it's time for the pepperoni. Now I really like to use turkey pepperoni because I find that it's less greasy, but you could also use regular pepperoni as well. And I'm just going to stir in about a handful of this pepperoni. And then right on the top, I'm going to add a layer of mozzarella cheese. And I'm basically topping this just like you would a pizza. Now I'm going to add the lid back on one more time just to help to melt the cheese. And check it out, you guys. It's ooey gooey and super cheesy. You could serve this just as is, or you could serve it over your favorite pasta. What I really like to do is go ahead and spiralize some zucchini to create some veggie pasta. This recipe is super easy and it's definitely a winner. And it's really like a cross between a pizza and chicken Parmesan. Okay guys, I hope you found a recipe today that you'd like to try for yourself. I have lots more easy, budget-friendly recipes on this channel. Definitely go check those out. I will link them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.